The UK has not seen a bomb attack like the Manchester outrage since 2005 for three simple reasons. It takes some expertise, which is difficult to come by without help. It requires a lot of planning and preparation, both of which increase the chances that MI5 and other agencies will discover what is going on. It requires a rare type of individual who is not only sufficiently organized to put the first two together, but determined enough to see the plan through to its awful conclusion. For more than a decade, the BBC Home Affairs Unit has monitored every single terrorist incident, attempted or failed, that has made it into the public domain. Quite simply, most of the people we have seen dragged through the courts are not capable of this kind of incident. Many aspire to and talk about building bombs. But they are either, to be frank, too stupid and disorganized to turn their fantasies into reality, or, alternatively, they get caught because they know how to cover their tracks. Most jihadists discount a bomb attack at the early stages. They realize that it is too difficult to pull off. They might accidentally kill themselves while making the device. Their purchasing patterns might raise suspicions in a local pharmacy or online, prompt GCHQ to have a closer look at their digital life. They may turn to someone else for help who, unbeknown to both, is already on the MI5 radar. And so, as the 2013 killing of Fusilier Lee Rigby showed, 4 years to the day before the Manchester attack, most aspiring attackers opt for a different course. Vehicles and knives became the weapons of choice. We saw it in 2014 when a London man planned a knife attack to coincide with the annual Act of Remembrance. We saw it again with the Khalid Massoud Westminster attack. But while knives and vehicles, and to a lesser extent guns, have featured in recent terrorism plots, there are people who still want to build bombs to attack crowded places. Just recently, the younger brother of the man in the Remembrance Sunday incident pleaded guilty to trying to find bomb-making help, and one of his potential targets was an Elton John concert. So the big question for investigators is, given that bomb-making requires expertise, how did the attacker get hold of such a device? There are three possible sources: they were taught how to make it, they were provided with the device by someone else. If they were taught, this could point to someone who has returned from so-called Islamic State territory in Syria and Iraq. The militants have constructed devices involving the type of shrapnel of metal nuts that has been reported from the scene at the Manchester arena. Al-Qaeda and its offshoots have deployed those devices too. It is less likely that it is someone recently returned from an Al-Qaeda camp in Pakistan or Afghanistan, as they pose a harder journey to make, but they rule it out. Either way, these are sophisticated devices, particularly if made to a well-known recipe that is circulated among extremists. If they taught themselves, then how did they go about it? Such an outcome would demonstrate how difficult it is to learn about a threat if the individual is acting entirely alone and taking exceptionally well-planned precautions to avoid surveillance. It's not hard to find bomb-making plans online. Go looking. It's an offense to possess this information, but many of them are useless. So, again, the attacker would have spent a long time thinking and planning this, and that reduces the likelihood that they were acting entirely alone. The third scenario is the worst possible because it would point to an active bomb-making technician on the loose in the UK. Someone who is completely beneath the security services' radar. Someone who has found ways of reaching out to potential recruits without compromising themselves. Someone who could strike again. So, this is very much a manhunt, even though nobody may know for sure at this stage who, if anyone, they are actually hunting. Inside Thames House, the home of MI5 and its regional units, a large post-incident operation will now be underway. Officers, supported by GCHQ, and where necessary counterparts in foreign agencies, will be examining any piece of intelligence to build a picture of the attacker. Experts from the National Forensic Explosives Laboratory in Kent will begin the astonishingly difficult work of trying to reconstruct the device so they can understand how it was made. These scientists have performed this task on every bomb recovered in modern times. What they find may, in time, yield vital intelligence. Police will be establishing the ATTACKER identity, either from personal effects, DNA and fingerprints or dental records. They will pull every available piece of CCTV and, if they are struggling to work out who he is, ultimately turn to a public appeal.